Guys, my name is Coach Anthony. I've been a professional boxing teacher for over a decade. I've worked with numerous world-rated professional boxers, world champion boxers, and even amateurs at the Olympic level. Over the years, I've created courses that are going to help you improve in different areas of your boxing, where I teach boxing fundamentals and I teach tactics and I get in depth. Guys, there's going to be a link somewhere on the screen. I want you guys to click it because I'm giving a special offer. I need you guys to invest into yourself. You don't have to walk this boxing journey alone, guys. I'm here to help you, and that's what I really want to do. So click on the link, go ahead, invest into yourself, and learn how to box and stop trying to figure this out on your own. Boxing life. Yo, what's good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? We here, we working, we busy. We've been working really hard. We've been working around the clock. This whole Black Friday experience, on top of the no days off November, on top of the training, on top of everything, man. Everything has just been, flowing. So I'm real excited. Today we went ahead and we officially finally finished the whole little edits of Build You From the Ground Up 2.0. Super excited about that. You guys are gonna love that course for all my beginners out there. Of course, we're still working on the how to box from the outside, how to box from the inside. Everything is on the website right now. We got bundles, we got a bunch of stuff going on, man. It's crazy, man. Let me go ahead and show you guys what we got going on right now. What's going on, guys? Your boy Coach Anthony. Welcome to Build You From the Ground Up 2.0. Basically a continuation of Build You From the Ground Up 1.0. 1.0 was really good to get you started, to teach you the basic fundamentals. Now we're going to go ahead and continue it so you guys can have a little bit more of an intermediate level style of training. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cover techniques and tactics that we did not cover in 1.0, and we're going to go ahead and refine and sharpen the tools that you did learn in 1.0. The Build You From the Ground Up system is going to be hands down the best boxing fundamental system on the internet, and this is basically part 2. So be ready, get 2.0, and let's get to work. Yeah, man. So we got 2.0 officially on the website, guys. The Build You From the Ground Up bundle package is on there. So if you guys want to go ahead, if you don't have Build You From the Ground Up 1.0, we're going to have, I put Build You From the Ground Up 1.0 and Build You From the Ground Up 2.0, and I bundled them up together. And right now with the bundle price and the 75% off, you're basically getting both bundles. You're going to get both bundles for less than $100. So the Build You From the Ground Up 2.0 is finally out. That's round 2, basically, of a system that I'm putting together for my beginners. So if you're a beginner boxer, you don't know where to begin, you've been trying to figure out where you want to begin, you start with 1.0. You go ahead and you move on to 2.0. But then not only that, when we bundle it up, I bundled it up with, the Build You From the Ground Up system is only those 2 courses. But like, for instance, the beginner boxing bundle actually has defensive principles 101, and it has footwork, right? Because you need it all, right? You need your defense and you need your footwork on top of the basic fundamental steps. So it's definitely gonna be dope. And we're gonna get started, man. I know I hopped on here a little bit early, so we're gonna see who rolls in here. We got the one and only Garrett Groover, man. Even when it's light in here, I can always depend on Garrett Groover to be in here, no matter what. Let's go ahead and get this party started, man. I'm gonna put that link in there for you, Garrett Groover. Get in here, man. Come talk to me, man. Come talk to me, Garrett Groover. You're in here for every single chat. You know what I'm saying? I gotta come talk to you. I want to meet you, man. I want to know who Gary Groover is. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys go check out the website. Check out Build You From the Ground Up 2.0, man. You know what I mean? My man Nick and Drew Bush. Hey, what's good? What's going on, Nick, man? Or Nick and Drew. Oh, Nick Andrew. Damn, my bad. Whoop. All right, yeah, what's going on? What's going on, Nick? Uh, just talking about how we dropped Build You from the Ground Up 2.0 today. Super excited about that. For everybody who wants to check it out, it is on the website right now. I bundled it up with all my bundles. We created the Build You from the Ground Up bundle. The Beginner Boxing Bundle 1.0 has Build You from the Ground Up 1.0 footwork and Defensive Principles 101. Build You from the Ground Up. The Beginner Bundle 2.0 has obviously both, plus those other two courses. So this is so many things on the website right now. As soon as you go ahead and get on there, you're going to go ahead and be able to pick and choose whatever you want, man. So make sure you guys go to the website, check out 2.0. The Black Friday sales applies to everything on there right now. AB, what's going on? AB, what's going on, champ? How are you? Delay Lamb, what's going on, guys? Yeah, we just staying consistent. No days off November. It's Monday. I know we just starting off the week. But the grind don't stop. We got a big fight this weekend. We got Teofimo Lopez fighting Cambosis. A week after that, we got Jojo Diaz fighting Devin Haney. We just had some good fights over the weekend. You know what I mean? We got Black Friday. We got no days off November. We got all the courses for ridiculously discounted rates right now. It's just a good time to be a boxing fan, a good time to be a boxer, a boxing coach. This is a good time, man. I'm just enjoying this whole boxing energy that we're getting right now. When are your new courses coming out? So I actually just dropped Build You from the Ground Up 2.0 today. Build You from the Ground Up 2.0 today is now officially on the website. So let me go ahead and go to my website real quick. I'm gonna screen share so you guys can see what I got going on. All right, and I'm explaining to you guys in full detail what's going on with the website. Let me go ahead and oh, my bad. That's not what I was trying to do. Okay, let me go ahead and show you guys. And if you're not watching this live and you're watching this late, this applies to you also. I'm just going ahead and just trying to show what I got going on. So we got the share screen obviously on the screen. Let me go ahead and bring you to the website. Okay, so obviously my biggest sale ever, because it really is. I'm giving 75% off everything on the website, right? So every course on the website, I should say. Now, for instance, the Beginner Boxing Bundle 1.0, right? We got Build You from the Ground Up 1.0, Defensive Principles 101, and the Beginner Footwork Drills. If you was to have bought these little by little over the years or over the last year, you know that you would have spent $250 for Defensive Principles 101. You would have spent $200 for Build You from the Ground Up 1.0, and you would have spent $100 on the footwork drills. Right now, you can get all three for $112.57, saving you $437. Okay, this is all Black Friday. I'm doing Black Friday early. All right, then we got the Beginners Boxing Bundle 2.0. This just got released today. I just created this bundle today, and I'm giving you Build You from the Ground Up 1.0, Build You from the Ground Up 2.0, the Beginner Footwork Drills and Defensive Principles 101. Why did I bundle these together? I bundled these together because you need your solid foundation, you need footwork, and you need defense, okay? So those are like the beginning key points of what you're going to need, you know what I'm saying, to really get started on your boxing journey. If you really want to move ahead faster, Build You from the Ground Up 1.0 and 2.0 are just the beginning of a bunch of Build You from the grounds up that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Those are just the first two. And basically that would have been $750 if you bought that full price. I bundled it down to $600, but with the CA Black Friday 75 discount code, you're going to get that for $150. It's really a no-brainer. We got the Defensive Wizard, of course. And with the Defensive Wizard, I gave you the Philly Shell System, Defensive Boost Principles 101. They're both $250. You get them both today, you're only spending $100. Simple as that, okay? It's crazy, you know what I mean? I bundled it down to $400, so you're saving money if you would have bought the bundle. But since it's Black Friday, you're going to get Defensive Principles 101 and the complete Philly Shell System for only $100. You're getting two for less than the price of one, okay? You got Make 'em Miss, Make 'em Pay, and that's basically how to set traps and counterpunch, defensive principles 101, and the complete Philly shell system. If you would have got them all, it would have been 750, but you're gonna go ahead with the discount code and only pay 150 for all 3 courses. All right. Of course, you got the heavy bag killer combo that comes with 50 combinations to the head, 50 combinations to the body, 50 head body combinations, and the heavy bag conditioning drills. So, if you're just looking for a killer heavy bag workout program that's going to get you in shape, give you a bunch of different ideas of different combinations, everything comes fully equipped with PDF plans, and it's mirrored for southpaws if you're a southpaw. So every course I have has PDFs and southpaws to go. I mean, southpaw versions to go with it. So it's a no-brainer if you want to just work on a heavy bag. And of course, we got fast Eddie Chambers on all of these. And of course, you get the Master Boxing Bundle, which is everything on my website right now. If you was to buy everything at its full price, you would be paying $21.50. I bundled it down to $18.50 for getting it at one time, but with the Black Friday deal, you're gonna get everything right now for $462.57, saving you $1,600.87.50. Okay, it's so cheap right now, but this is an opportunity to get how to box the opposite stance, which is the southpaw versus orthodox, angles and how to create them, defensive principles 101, heavy back conditioning drills, 50 to the head, 50 to the body, 50 head body, uh, beginner footwork drills, the Philly shell system, build you from the ground up 1.0, build you from the ground up 2.0. Need I say more? So yeah, that's where I'm at with it, guys. That's what I'm doing. And I just want you guys to know, like, the sale is in full effect. You guys are more than welcome to go in there and save some money. And let's go ahead and talk some more boxing. The the Crawford Porter fight, it was so great. That was a great fight, man. I really enjoyed the fight. Everybody knows I enjoyed it up until the ending. You know what I mean? But other than that, though, I don't want to keep crying over spilled milk. But yeah, it was a great fight, man. What can I say? Very good fight. Benjamin Cuevas, hello, coach, and greeting to all fight fans. What's going on, Benjamin? Man, I'm glad to see you in here, man. I'm happy when I see my regular people in here who come here all the time. I appreciate you, Benjamin. Gary Gruber, these prices are insane, cheaper than dirt, man. Listen, it's really crazy, and it's only gonna last for a few more days. I mean, Black Friday, the time is ticking. It's Monday, November 22nd. Black Friday's in 4 days, and then it's done. And I'm not doing the sales no more. So if the people want to save some bread, now's the time. Bonjour, Anthony Sensei. What's going on? What's going on, champ? How are you, man? Appreciate you for being in here. Stephen James, Coach Ant, when punching focus mitts, how much power versus speed should I focus on? Sometimes I feel like I sacrifice some speed when I focus too much on power. It's for a lot of people, it's difficult to do both at the same time. I try to do a little bit of both. I try to pull back on my power and increase my speed, but not to the point where I'm not cracking. So there's a little bit of both. You try to work on mixing the blending of both. You know what I mean? You don't want to be hitting the mix like, you know what I mean? You want to pop. You just want to let them things go. You know what I mean? And sometimes you put a little bit more on it than other times. You know what I'm saying? You're not always going to hit the mitts fast. You're not always going to hit them slow. It really just depends on what you're working on at that particular moment. But you don't want to start winging and pushing too hard. You know what I mean? C Graham, what's going on? What's up, champ? How are you? Crawford is a gladiator warrior, man. Yeah, man. They both are, man. Sean Porter definitely is, and Crawford is too, man. But Crawford got like that grit, that old school grit. He's focused. He never seems to get down on himself, even when he's behind on the cards. He's looked like that in several fights where he's losing the fights on the cards, but his determination to win is so strong that it carries him through. I mean, that's literally how he's won all his big fights. He was losing in the first half of the fight, and next thing you know, he gets to you at some point somehow. You know what I mean? He's just a hard-nosed fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's one of them guys that You're gonna have to beat him to beat him. You're not gonna get out that fight with him trying his best, you know, easily. Put it that way. It's time to buy yourself a holiday gift. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, now's the time. You know what I mean? All year I've been pushing courses, giving deals, a little 50%, 40%, a little 25%, sometimes 60%. Sometimes I was doing the CA power hours, and that's when I really give you guys some good deals. But right now, not only am I giving 75%, I'm also giving you guys bundle prices. So the bundle prices are actually, so you're really getting like 80%. And then on top of that, you're getting added to the CA boxing community that's going to launch in 2022. So it's just a lot, you know what I mean? But it's Black Friday, right? And I didn't want to wait till Black Friday. I didn't want to just do it for one day. I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to get it. And that's the reason why I started the sale last week. And I'm still pushing it, and I'm gonna push it all week. You guys got a few more days to go to make a decision. If you guys are on the fence, you got a day or a couple of days. But once it's gone, and I can't do this. You know what I mean? This is like insanely disrespectfully cheap to my courses and the effort that was put into them. But it is what it is. You guys been supporting me for years, so I ain't tripping. What advice would you give someone who is naturally heavy handed with speed but is lacking in balance and combination punching? What advice would you give someone who is naturally heavy handed with speed but is lacking in balance and combination punching? It's a very odd question, but the way it was worded. But what I will say is any area that you're lacking on is the area that I'm going to focus on. So I would tell you to focus on your balance and focus on your combinations if that's the areas that need the most improvement. If you notice that you're having a problem falling over when you're throwing right hands, and when you're lunging in with certain punches, and you're crossing your feet when you're circling. I mean, these are the areas that need to be focused on. We can't like ignore these problems and then try to build on some other strengths that we have, because these are major problems, right? Not having good balance in boxing is a major problem. That's like, yes, your foundation. Without balance, you're in big trouble. Combinations in boxing, if you can't throw them, major problem, because you can't try to hit everybody with one shot at a time. You got to put your punches together, right? So these are areas that need a lot of focus. So I would slow down my training. First thing I would tell you is this: slow down your training. Focus, focus, slow it down. Stop trying to do too much. Focus on the areas that need to be focused on and improve those areas. Once those areas start to improve, then you can move on to the next step. Then you can move on to the next step. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest mistake that guys make is they ignore where they're lacking, and then they try to work on where they feel they're stronger. But then they have this big imbalance of, you know, they're fast and strong, but they have horrible technique, or they got good technique, but they have no strength. Like, you have to figure out what works, and then you have to focus on that. Or let me reword that. You have to focus on what needs to get focused on. That's what I meant to say. Hi, coach. What advice can you give a dad who is training his son who is getting really good and speed is getting to the point where I can't keep up with him on the mitts? Man, you're going to have to pass him off to a different coach, man. I mean, listen, it's okay to train your son, but if you can't keep up with him no more, I mean, you're going to have to get some. I mean, and if you want to still be the head trainer, you might have to find a young, hungry mitt guy who can keep up with him. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, the mitts is not everything in boxing. You can go without mitts. It's not a big deal. You don't have to throw the mitts as fast as you can. You don't have to throw punches as fast as you can on the mitts all the time. You can use the mitts for punch placement. You can use it for teaching fundamentals. You could work it for defense and angles. Like, the mitts isn't all just like, let me see how fast and how hard you can hit. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that shouldn't even be a big issue for you. But if you feel like mitts is a problem for you, um, let somebody else hold the mitts for your son. But it's good that your son is getting fast and strong, and you don't want to limit him. You know what I mean? So let him grow. Yo, what's up, champ? Hey, coach, I bought your course, How to Box the Opposite Stance. I'm a southpaw. Quality stuff, man. Hope to use it in sparring. I'm very excited to hear how your sparring journey goes. And definitely, man, I'm glad and I'm happy that you appreciate and like the course. There's a lot of good information on there. That course is for both southpaws and orthodox fighters. And really all of my courses are. Everything is mirrored for southpaws as well. So if you are a southpaw and you are on the fence, don't you worry. All my courses are mirrored in southpaw as well as in orthodox. How to Box the Opposite Stance is the actual course that you want to buy if you want to know how to box a southpaw or vice versa. And like I said, I just dropped Build You from the Ground Up 2.0, and you can actually get it bundled up with my 1.0 for only 87 bucks right now. You know what I'm saying? If you was to buy those full price, it would be 400 bucks. You know what I mean? So you're going to save a whole lot of money. So check out Build You from the Ground Up 1.0 and 2.0 if you are a beginner. And if you want all the courses, the Master Boxing Bundle has everything, and you really can't. You won't have an issue because you have the whole selection, you have the whole catalog. You know what I mean? But thank you, champ. I appreciate you. Ramon, what's up? Knowing Crawford is a great closer, do you think the situation Porter was in, a stoppage was inevitable? I mean, listen, I don't have an issue with the stoppage. I have an issue with the way that his father handled it after the stoppage. I do still believe the stoppage was premature. Had that been my fighter, I think I would have let it continue. However, I'm not his father, so I can't say how I would feel if that was my son, knowing what we know about Crawford. I believe that Sean Porter still had an opportunity to make it out that round. I believe that Sean Porter wasn't hurt, but I also believe that he was very frustrated and maybe his mind wasn't coherent at the moment. When, like, not that he wasn't coherent, but he was more so frustrated that he probably wasn't thinking clearly. It wasn't that he was hurt; he was more not thinking clearly because he was very upset. And we all know that boxing's a mental game, and if you're not thinking clearly, that's a big problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that, yeah, it's inevitable. But at the end of the day, it was the comments after the fight that I think most people had an issue with more so than the stoppage. I mentioned combination and balance because after the third or fourth shot, I have to reset. Otherwise, I lose my footing and balance. Yeah, champ, you're gonna have to focus on that. You're gonna have to put some focus on that. Work your shadow boxing, work in the heavy bag. Working on the mitts. Take your time. Don't rush. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have an issue with your balance on the third or the fourth or the fifth or the first or the second shot. Your feet should be under you. You should be able to get your shots off fairly, relatively comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, that means you have a lot to work on in that department. So put some effort into it. You know what I mean? Moving to Boston area from Oklahoma, intermediate boxer. Know of any good gyms out there? Also, or if you are an inside fighter, what game plan do you recommend to minimize damage taken on the inside? Hey, what's up, champ? How are you? I don't know any gyms in that area, so I'm sorry about that. I can't answer that question. If you're an inside fighter, what game plan do you recommend to minimize damage? You got to know how to work your defense on the inside. Because if you don't know how to work your defense on the inside, you're gonna be in trouble. People think because they're on the inside, the defense is no longer a thing. You're still working your defense. So that's something that you're gonna have to make sure that you're comfortable with on the inside. You're gonna have to use different tactics on the inside to stop shots. You're gonna have to work on the inside. You're gonna have to be okay tying up on the inside, smothering on the inside. There's a whole bunch of stuff you could do. I actually got a course coming out, How to Box on the Inside with Eddie, that we just recorded, that is being processed as we speak. It's already done. It's just getting chopped and put together right now. I was hoping to get it out this week. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. Did release Build You from the Ground Up 2.0 today. The goal is to get How to Box on the Outside and How to Box on the Inside out as well, added to the master bundle package that we have. But anyway, back to what you were saying, you're going to have to know how to handle yourself on the inside. And that basically means be comfortable with your defense inside. Know when to tie up, know when to smother, know when to work, know what combinations and traps you want to set up in there. And that all comes with boxing IQ, repetition, and drilling. with somebody who knows how to teach it. And that's really it. And I can't give you a complete strategy because every fight's different. But it comes down to knowing the fundamentals and the tactics that you can use depending on what's happening in front of you. You know what I mean? Stephen James, sometimes we spar at other gyms. Some of the guys that come from the other gyms box a little dirty. Is it better to be a little dirty back or just opt out? Well, that's the coach's jobs. The coaches are supposed to handle the dirty tactics. So, you know, that's a big thing on the coaches. If your coaches are not handling that, then that's a problem. That's really not up to you to listen. Number one rule in boxing: protect yourself at all times. That's the number one rule of boxing. So if somebody's getting a little dirty, you need to, for one, try to protect yourself from anything that they're doing that's dirty. You know what I'm saying? And for two, you know what I mean? I can't be in control of how you react if somebody, does something dirty, because I don't know how I'm gonna react. If somebody hits me with a low blow in boxing, you know what I'm saying? I can't sit here and say I wouldn't hit him with a low blow back, or I wouldn't, try to retaliate. I can't give you the right. I can give you the generic answer and say, don't resort to that. But come on, man, let's be real. Like, I don't believe in turning the other cheek. That's not how I get down. You know what I'm saying? So, my thing is protect yourself at all times, and your coaches need to handle that. That's your coach's job. And if they're not handling that, and you know that this other gym is coming in the future, then I would opt out. Then I would say, I'm good. I ain't sparring them, because last time I sparred him, dude hit me in the back of the head. You ain't say nothing about it. Their team ain't say nothing about it. If he does it again, it's going to get ugly. You hear me? So I'm not going, you know what I mean? Then I would opt out. But if you're already in the ring with the guy, you got to protect yourself at all times, and whatever happens, happens. So it's really up to your coaches to prevent that. You feel me? Thanks, coach. No problem, champ. Wise words, coach. I appreciate you. Jordan Rogers, hey, coach. What should a beginner do before joining a boxing gym as far as conditioning goes? You join the boxing gym and you let the boxing gym get you into shape. This question always makes me laugh. And it's funny because I've gotten this so many times, and I've also have met so many people over the years that got this impression that they're gonna get in shape before they come to a boxing gym. Like, my boxing gym was actually next to two physical fitness gyms here in the New Jersey area. And I would go to the physical fitness gym because I personally stopped boxing myself. You know what I'm saying? I still hit the bag here and there, shadow box here and there, but for the most part, I stopped boxing myself. It's been years since I've really been committed for my own personal boxing, right? I'm more of a trainer now. I'm a little older now. I'm not worried about it as like I used to be. But I would go to the regular gym, and then people would come to me and say, yo, coach, I'm trying to get in shape, so I come to your gym and work out. And I'd be like the purpose of my gym is to get you in shape. Like if you want to get in shape with boxing, you go to a boxing gym. I don't give a shit if you're 500 pounds, if you're totally out of shape, and you never walk up come to the boxing gym. Just come. We'll figure it out. We'll get you right. You have to do the boxing routine. So as far as conditioning goes, let me make sure I'm reading your question right. Hey, coach, what should a beginner do before joining a boxing gym as far as conditioning goes? The answer is join the boxing gym. Let the boxing gym get you into shape. Get comfortable with the boxing routine. Learn what the workouts are. Learn what it is to shadow box. Learn what it is to jump rope. Learn what it is to hit a heavy bag. Because it doesn't matter what you do in a different exercise. When you come to do the boxing routine, it's still gonna feel different. So yeah, Jordan, my advice to you is join a boxing gym. That's how you get into shape. Appreciate that, coach. No problem. Appreciate the advice, coach. No problem, champ. Hey, coach, I'm 30 years old. I've been training for 3 years, had a few amateur fights. I spar against pros and other good amateurs around the area. Should I go pro? I love this shit, man. Well, that's up to you. I can't really give you an answer to that. I think that's a personal decision. I think you and your coach need to talk about that. I think that if you want to do it and you can't sleep at night, go for it, man. See where it takes you. Just don't have any ridiculous expectations if you don't get a manager or something like that. You see what I'm trying to say? So if you want to go pro, go for it. You know what I mean? Just be very aware of what the circumstances are as a 30-year-old man going pro with limited amateur background. You see what I'm saying? As long as you're aware of that and you're okay with that, go for it, man. If that's what you want to really do. Edwin Strong ready. So yo, let me see here, man. Let's see here, man. Oh, I know what I'll do. Boop. It's a 5-minute timeout, pal. 5-minute timeout. When you come back in here in 5 minutes again, we'll see if you can behave better. Now go look at the wall. Put your nose on the wall. You on a 5-minute timeout. You feel me? Like very simple. You on a 5-minute timeout, Edwin. All right, let's see. Yeah, face the corner. Face the corner, guy. You feel me? Face the corner. Have a sip of my drink here. You feel me? So that's how we're doing that. You know what I mean? Real simple to deal with trolls on this thing, man. I have a button. It's called "Put You on Timeout," and that's what I do to children. I put them on timeout. You feel me? Face the corner, son. Yeah, man. It's real simple, man. I handle these situations much more eloquently as I've gotten older. You know, it's easier for me nowadays. Yeah, man. On that note, man, for everybody who missed, let me show you the commercial for 2.0. What's going on, guys? Your boy, Coach Anthony. Welcome to Build You from the Ground Up 2.0. Basically a continuation of Build You from the Ground Up 1.0. 1.0 was really good to get you started, to teach you the basic fundamentals. Now we're going to go ahead and continue it so you guys can have a little bit more of an intermediate level style of training. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cover techniques and tactics that we did not cover in 1.0, and we're going to go ahead and refine and sharpen the tools that you did learn in 1.0. The Build You from the Ground Up system is going to be hands down the best boxing fundamental system on the internet, and this is basically part 2. So be ready, get 2.0, and let's get to work. From the Ground Up 2.0 is officially out, guys. You can go ahead and grab that 75% off. You can go ahead and get the bundle packages. You're gonna get it for less than $100 if you get it with 1.0. You got the beginner boxing bundle right now. 1.0 beginner boxing bundle, 2.0, and then you get the whole bundle packages. I already gave you guys a look of what we got going on the website right now. The deals are just ridiculous. Don't wait till Black Friday. There's no point. You can go ahead and get it now. You can go ahead and price around. I would love for you guys to go to these other internet boxing coaches and see what they have to offer and see what they're charging for what they have to offer. And then you'll be more than welcome to come back over here to Coach Anthony Boxing, and we'll still provide you with the deal. You know what I'm saying? I'll be more than happy to still give you the deal after you went ahead, shopped around, surfed the web, see the quality of what they're teaching, and then see what they're charging, and then come back. And we'll be right here for you, man. You feel me? There's only room for one troll. Yeah, G, you got that on lock. Respect from Chicago, brother. I appreciate you. Canelo at Cruiserweight. I think he'll be okay, depending on who he fights. I think they're going to match him up perfectly. I don't think they're going to put him in there with the killers of the killers, but I think they're going to put him in there with the right guys. Canelo should do well with the guys they're going to match him up with. Here, listening from Mexico. Thank you for your boxing knowledge. I appreciate you, champ. I appreciate you. I appreciate all my Mexican people. Hey, coach, from your perspective, what's usually the most common issue with beginners? The most Man, I hate when I read like that. Hey, coach, from your perspective, what's usually the most common issue beginners have with their boxing? There's many different issues. I've bumped into so many. You got to understand, I've trained hundreds of people in my life from owning a gym for, all the years. And, you know, so many issues. You got some guys that got their chicken wings out when they're standing. You got guys who their feet, they can't go left and right. You got guys that can't step forward and back. You got guys that drop their hands when they throw their punches. You got guys that smack like Paul with their punches. You got guys who wind up too wide, who don't know how to bring their knuckles into their punches. Um, there's so many different errors and mistakes, and kids that are impatient and don't want to go through the process of what it takes to actually master a fundamental skill. So, everybody, you're going to bump into so many different things over the years. If you're a coach, you're going to just be like, man, I remember this guy does it. But what's good about it, the more coaching years of experience you have, the more things you see, and then you learn how to deal with it. Like, I've had issues where I've had to deal with a certain kind of a person who had certain issues, and I literally created drills for that particular person. Like put it this way, if and I actually do look, I keep these notes right here, just so you guys don't think it's game. Like I got all these notes, and this is all boxing notes. Like I got notes that I did for like courses, and then I got stuff in here from when I owned a gym and different things. I used to love to write stuff down, right? And basically, when I write this stuff down, it was like certain particular individual situations. I wonder if you can see my phone on the inside. Even in the notes in my phone, like y'all don't know how serious I take this show. Y'all be thinking I'm playing. Like y'all don't get it. Like y'all don't really get it. So look, for instance, right here. All right, can you see? Chill. Woo, that's me. Pause. All right. So let me, man, yo, the way I got this, man, bro, you can't get none. Anyway, man, this is all Tevin Farmer from when I trained Tevin Farmer. I just got all notes of different things we used to do, different workouts we used to do. I have it with my amateurs over the years, stuff in there from 2, 3 years ago in my phone, stuff in here from 5 years ago written down. And basically it's, for every individual person that I've ever worked with, I had to do individually different type of training routines because everybody has their own issues, their own, their own things. And I would create, customized training programs for people, basically, you know what I'm saying? And then what happens is I bump into a person 2 years later, 3 years later, who has similar attributes, and it's like I can go back to that and be like, oh yeah, that's what I used to do with Tev. He had the same issue, or that's what I used to do with this guy. He had the same issue. I had an amateur 6 years ago. I used to train that. It took me forever to get him to do this. And then when I bump into this guy, it's like if he reminds me or she reminds me of this person from the past, and I'm able to deal with them. So that's kind of the advantage I have. And I also have an advantage because I've worked with so many beginners. And I just think that people don't understand the value of teaching beginners. Like all these trainers out here, they basically wanna just show off their good fighters. They just want to show off the guys that, compete, and the guys that they get from managers that have big names. Like, for instance, like if I only spoke about Tevin Farmer, right? Like, yeah, I'm Tevin Farmer's trainer. He won a world title. I was there before he won the title, and we defended it 6 times. And Eddie Chambers, and these are the only people that I ever, cater to. And it's like the problem with those type of guys is when you're only catering to the person who has talent, it's easier to deal with those guys, right? Because They already know how to throw a jab, a cross, a hook. They got good footwork. They got good defense and all of that, right? But let me see you teach somebody who has terrible balance. Let me see you teach somebody who has no coordination. Let me see you teach somebody who has no courage. Let me see you build that person's courage up. I used to do it all the time. My gym that I had here in Jersey wasn't in the hood. It wasn't in the ghetto. A nice, decent suburban area, right? What does suburban areas produce? A lot of guys that are not fighters. And I would turn some of these kids into fighters. You see what I'm saying? I would take a kid that comes from a privileged area, teach him how to box. Next thing you know, he's a good boxer. And now this kid got confidence. He's not intimidated when he goes into some of these rougher areas. Because I used to take these kids to Philadelphia and some of the roughest areas in Philly. Everybody knows Philly's not a game. And they would be able to handle themselves. I would take these kids from the suburbs, good kids, teach them something, and they could run with it for the rest of their life. Even the ones that decided they didn't want to continue boxing, they now have a different kind of confidence. I see them going through the gym, they're walking with their chest up. You know what I'm saying? They feel good about themselves. They're not scared of the thugs. You know what I mean? They got an identity. Boxing gave them an identity. I see them on the internet posting on the heavy bag and shadow boxing and hitting the mitts and sometimes showing some sparring clips. And I'm like, this kid would have never had this confidence had he not found boxing. So I know I'm getting into a whole nother topic right now, but I say that to say that it takes a different kind of level of teaching, and it definitely takes it takes a different kind of patience and creativity when you're trying to teach somebody who's not naturally gifted for fighting. It's much easier when you're dealing with the athlete who already got a chip on his shoulder, who comes from a hard upbringing, who wants to punch people in the face, who wants to be a fighter since he was 3, whose father was a fighter, whose uncle was a fighter. You see what I'm saying? It's much easier to deal with that breed. You give me that breed and I'm going to turn them into monsters because they're already built for it. All I got to do is teach them the fundamentals. I don't got to teach them how to be tough. I don't got to teach them how to be rough. I don't got to explain to them what's going on. I just got to get them in shape, discipline, and teach them the fundamentals. That's easy. But you take a kid that has a silver spoon in his mouth and you can teach him that. Now I'm impressed. You feel me? Do you believe the notion that Canelo is ducking certain individuals or that he's just accepting the fact that he likes heavier weight class as his weight increase? He is one of the greats. I think it's a little bit of both. I think that Canelo uh, is being moved properly. So when we go back into the history books, we're going to see that he jumped up weight classes in one title and multiple weight classes. I think that they're not taking the hard fights with the low rewards. I do think fights that people are saying he's ducking, I think that he could win those fights. So, for instance, I believe he could beat Jamel Charlo. I believe he could beat Bubu Andrade. I believe he could beat Benavidez. So I don't think he's ducking these guys because he can't beat them. But I do think that Bubu Andrade is a big threat, low reward. I do believe that Charlo, honestly, I don't know why he wouldn't take the Charlo fight. I think he should take that fight because it's a good name. And I think that he'll win pretty big in impressive fashion. I'm surprised he doesn't want the Charlo fight because I think that fight would sell. Black versus Mexico. I said black versus Mexico, but that's really what it is, right? And then I just think that it'll be a big fight. The black community will come out, the Mexican community will come out. They could definitely do it in Vegas because Charlo's from Texas, so I don't know why he don't want the Charlo fight. Benavidez, another big fight, 2 Mexicans, going at it. One guy's aggressive, Canelo's slick, powerful as well. Certain fights, I don't understand why he doesn't want them because they're good fights for him. And I think that they would really, really be highlighted fights and they would sell. And he can't say that he can't make money with Charlo. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me you're not going to make money with Benavidez. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that fighting this African guy that we never heard of before is a bigger fight. You see what I'm saying? But I do think they're doing it with a plan. So when you go back into the legacy, you can say, well, he won a title at super middle, light heavy, cruiser, middleweight, junior middleweight. You see what I'm saying? He started at welterweight. So when you go into the history books, we're gonna have all these great things to say about Canelo, greatest Mexican fighter of all time. But there's no way you can tell me that this is a bigger fight than the fights that I just mentioned. He should be fighting a Boo Boo Andrade, a Jamel Charlo, both Charlos. Beat them both. Beat the brothers. Beat Andrade and beat Benavidez and call it a day. That's how I would do it if I was him. But hey, only he knows and only his team knows why they're moving him the way they're moving him. I'm trying to read some of these comments, guys. I'm definitely gonna get to you guys comment per comment. My man K from Cali said Charlo actually has a chance to beat Canelo. That's why he don't want that smoke. But Canelo is making great business move. Can't knock him for what he's doing, what he wants. I mean, anybody got a chance to beat anybody. But K, would you be willing to put some money up that you think Charlo could beat Canelo? Would you be willing to put up? I don't know. Let's just make a friendly wager, like $1,000, $10,000 that you think Charlo will win. Like I would be very comfortable putting up like 10 grand on Canelo in that fight. Would you be comfortable putting 10 grand on Charlo? You see what I'm saying? Like when you think about it, like when you really have to think about it, do you really think Charlo could beat Canelo? What does Charlo do better than Canelo? What signs has Canelo shown in recent fights that he would be vulnerable with a guy like Charlo? Just curious because he's fought the big punchers, he's fought the slick fighters. What does Charlo do that Canelo hasn't seen and that Canelo can't handle? Would you be willing to put the money up to fight a guy like? Would you be willing to take that belt if the odds were even? You feel me? So that's my opinion on that fight. I don't see Charlo beating Canelo. I see really none of these guys beating Canelo, but for whatever reason, Canelo's avoid. The only one that could possibly be Canelo is Boo Boo Andrade, and that's because he's a southpaw. He's tall. He's just as experienced, um, and you know that's the only one that I could see out that group. Benavidez, depending on what Benavidez is willing to absorb, because he got hit a hell of a lot in his last fight, and I can't see him possibly taking those punches from Canelo for 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So in reality, man, I think Canelo right now can beat every single one of the guys who people claim he's ducking. But there is some question. Why isn't he fighting these guys? We do have to ask ourselves that. Why aren't you fighting these guys then? If you're not ducking them, Canelo, give me a real reason why you're not fighting them. Because you can't tell me it's because you think fighting the African that's a cruiserweight's a bigger name than Charlo. You can't tell me that. That's BS. You can't tell me he's a bigger name than Andrade. That's BS. So I want to know what's the reason. Mark Woods, let me read your question and then answer it. So you was training suburban kids in boxing for they could stand up for young thugs in Philly. That's interesting. I think I think that you're taking what I'm saying incorrectly. I think what you don't understand is that I've taken kids that were suburban that can handle themselves amongst some of the toughest kids from Philly. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's not that I was taking them to beat up thugs in Philly. It's not, please, don't do that. Don't do that. You see what I'm saying? It's not what I was saying. What I'm trying to say is taking a person that is not from a fighter's environment all the time and turning them into a fighter is a challenge. Okay, it's easier to turn a person who's from a fighter's environment, which is typically a city like Philadelphia, New York City, Newark, New Jersey, Los Angeles, California, Flint, Michigan, Ohio. I mean, all these places that are like real cities, they develop the fighters. Baltimore, they develop the fighters. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because the environment's real. The environment's hard. It's much harder to take a kid from freaking Princeton, New Jersey, you know what I'm trying to say, and turn him into a freaking competitive fighter. It just is. It's just the facts. It's hard to get out of bed when you're sleeping on silk sheets. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my whole point. If you can do that, then that's saying something. And I've trained many kids from the inner cities as well. Some of my best fighters was really from the inner city. You see what I'm saying? Canelo doesn't want to fight Beat Bev, even he said it in his Twitter. Well, maybe that's a fight he don't want to fight. Maybe that's the one guy. I don't know. I have to watch that guy. I keep hearing so much about him. I have to watch that guy. Yeah, don't forget about. Trust me. I forgot a lot of places. There's a lot of places that I forgot. You know what I mean? I can't make a whole list of every tough city in the United States of America, but there's plenty. And typically, when you're from a real area like that, that's typically where the fighters are developed with good reason, right? You got a harder life. You know what I'm saying? And people forget what boxing is. It's two men fighting each other, two women fighting each other at the end of the day. We're throwing fists at each other. We're trying to hurt each other. You know what I mean? You got to have a little bit of an edge on and a chip on your shoulder to be successful at this. You can't necessarily just be like, I'm going to be a boxer. Yeah, good luck with that. Because when you go against one of these kids who's hungry, you're going to feel the pain. You're going to be like, damn, this is different. You know what I mean? This is different. This is not what I'm used to. Yeah, you're not used to that. You feel what I'm saying? You got to get groomed for that. That takes grooming. You know what I mean? Are you a fan of traditional road work or other versions of cardio to save joints long term? I think that we don't need long road work, but you do need your longer runs. You know what I mean? I just think that there's a balance. A boxer doesn't need to run 8 miles, 10 miles, 5 days a week. Shit. That's overkill. But a couple of miles, a couple of times a week is good. 3 miles. You know what I mean? Maybe add a sprint day in there. Or time your runs, time them longer runs, time them 3 mile runs. You know what I mean? So yeah, there could be benefit to a longer run. They just don't have to be extremely long runs. You know what I mean? Shakur Stevenson's going to be great. I can't see him losing. He's one of my favorite boxers. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson is a fantastic boxer. Absolutely, without a doubt. What do you think about Isaac Cruz against Javante Davis? I don't know enough about Isaac Cruz. I watched some highlights of him. Didn't really hear about him until this fight. A lot of people were like, "Whoa, this is a tough fight for Tank." I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm still gonna have to say I got Tank based off what I saw. I think that being super aggressive like that on Tank can be dangerous. Isaac Cruz seems to like to throw a lot of punches. He's pretty aggressive. And a guy like Tank who's hitting you with them one hitter quitters, boom, bombs away. You know what I'm saying? And so I got Tank. George Foreman carried two heavy buckets of milk every day and walked 2 miles with it. Back then, George Foreman was named George Forms until he lost to Ali. Old school. Your thoughts on Scooter versus Figaro, man? That should be a good fight, man. I got Scooter. You know, I'm running with the Philly guy. I'm running with the home team on this one. I had the opportunity to work with Scooter years ago before he ever got to this level. Never really saw him get into this. You know, his last fight was very impressive, man. I mean, I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was gonna end up being this good. So I'm very happy for him. I'm happy for his trainer, Hamza. I'm glad they're together, riding this journey together. Hamza actually called me in to help him with this fight, but that didn't go. You know, that didn't end up panning out. But I was actually gonna help Scooter with this fight, and I didn't. And but big shout out to Hamza, Untouchables Boxing, Philadelphia, and Scooter. And I hope that I wish them the best, man. I hope that they do very well, and I believe they will. Who you got in a Charlo versus Andrade fight? Because I think that's one of the few fantasy fights that it might happen. Now that's a dope fight. That's a dope fight, man. I would love to see that fight. I got Boo Boo. I got Andrade winning that fight. So yeah, guys, uh, came in here just to chop it up with y'all for a little bit. As you know, I got the Black Friday sale, 75% off all the courses, the bundle packages. You get enrolled to the CA boxing community. You know what I mean? The Black Friday sale has been going on since last week, and it's gonna go on until Black Friday. So you guys got a couple of days. Of course, I'm gonna promote this thing like crazy, but please, after this week, don't email me the next day saying, Coach Ant, I missed the sale because I've literally promoted this like 100 times since Wednesday. So the answer is going to be no. If you guys email me the day after saying, hey, I thought about it and now I want to get it. You feel what I'm saying? Go to the website right now. I just released Build You from the Ground Up 2.0. We got 1.0 on there. And the rest of the courses, obviously. And you're going to get a lot for your money. You know what I mean? Castano versus Charlo 2 is in the works. That was a good one, man. I wouldn't mind seeing that one again. For sure. And this weekend, of course, we got Teofimo Lopez versus Cambosis. I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys for them last minute predictions in the next day or two. I'm going to give you guys a day or two to think about this one. That should be a good fight, too, man. Stay on here for a couple more seconds, man. Anybody want to drop any more questions, let it be known. If not, I'm going to pull up out of here. It was nice chopping it up with everybody. Is Tevin unofficially retired? Gotta ask. Nah, Tevin's not retired, man. Tevin is not retired. Tevin is still around. I actually just spoke to Tevin 2 days ago. So nah, he's not retired. Might be cooking up something real soon. I haven't worked with Tevin about 6 months since we was in Orlando earlier this year. But nah, Tevin's not retired, man. He was actually in the gym today. If you went on his Instagram, you would have seen he was with his strength and conditioning coach today. So he's staying in shape, he's staying ready, and he still wants to fight. And he said he's very, very motivated. The words from the camel's mouth, he was very, very motivated. I asked him how his body feels. He says he feels fully rested. He said he feels great. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, that's about an hour on the dot. I'm gonna keep it short for today, short and sweet. If something changes, keep your notification bell on just in case I change my mind at 2:30 in the morning and say I want to come on here and one of you guys are awake. You guys can come hang out with me. You guys already know where to go. CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Check out the courses. All right, Build You from the Ground Up 2.0 is already out. It is out today. What's going on, guys? Your boy Coach Anthony. Welcome to Build You from the Ground Up 2.0. Basically a continuation of Build You from the Ground Up 1.0. 1.0 was really good to get you started, to teach you the basic fundamentals. Now we're going to go ahead and continue it so you guys can have a little bit more of an intermediate level style of training. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cover techniques and tactics that we did not cover in 1.0, and we're going to go ahead and refine and sharpen the tools that you did learn in 1.0. The Build You from the Ground Up system is going to be hands down the best boxing fundamental system on the internet, and this is basically part 2. So be ready, get 2.0, and let's get to work. Guys, you know the vibes. Thank you guys for pulling up. I'll see you guys tomorrow. No days off. November is on every day to the end of November. So I'll be back in here tomorrow unless I get bored at 2 in the morning and I'll decide to come on here again and talk some more. But if not, you already know, guys. Thank you guys for the love and support. Go to the website, get a course, save money. Talk to you.